Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Rhonda, and if you're new watching my channel, welcome also. I was in the process of making something, and I thought, well, I want to share this with my YouTubers. So here we go. I've already made some, and I'm gonna make another batch. It's called scallion pancakes, and they are packed with flavor. You don't need a lot of ingredients. It's a great appetizer. You can use it as a side dish for like shrimp fried rice or any kind of Asian cuisine that you're fixing. You could take it tailgating. I mean, it's packed with flavor, and like I said, you don't need very many ingredients at all, and I love them. And it's been a while since I've made them. So let me show you how I make mine. You need a heat-proof bowl. The first batch I made, I used a glass bowl. This one is a very thick heat-safe bowl. I've got a cup, 1 cup of all-purpose flour, and just a little bit, just a dash of salt, because that's not a lot of flour. So you just want to put a little bit of salt in there. And you got to have some salt for sprinkling also. Now, we're going to add 1 cup of boiling water. It's got to be boiling. So you got to be careful. Be very careful. Add it a little bit at a time in here. And if you wanted to add some garlic powder to this flour mixture, feel free to do so. Or some onion powder, whatever you like. All right, my stomach's growling. So you want to form a shaggy dough. Get it, stir it around in there. And I've got about a 1/2 cup of scallions. The first batch I used about a 1/2 cup. So you want to slice those up very thinly. And you're going to need some sesame oil. And you don't have to have sesame seeds, but I like those sometime. I might put them in the second batch. And some soy sauce. And some oil to cook these in. Alright. I'm going to add just a tad of flour. Because, different days, we've talked about how flour will do. It takes on different amounts of moisture. And you don't want it to be too wet. So you want to get it incorporated. And it's, make sure that it's not too hot for you to handle. Let it cool for a few minutes. Okay. We're gonna let this cool off for just a few minutes. And we'll be back. Okay, you want to knead this for just a few minutes because my first batch, I did not knead it like I should have. It's been over a year since I've made this, and it's still a little warm, but like I said, make sure it's not too hot for you. You don't want to burn your hands, absolutely not. But I'm going to knead this for just a second or two so it won't fall apart. And I'm going to use very little flour as I can. It feels good on my hands though. It's so warm. These are so easy to make, y'all. And they're so tasty. With just these few ingredients, it's so delicious. I just want to knead a little bit because I don't want them to, fall apart. and you want to make a ball. All right, you want to take a bench scraper or whatever you got and cut this into 4 pieces. Now, like I said, you can double this recipe and cover these, the ones that you're going to set aside. Just put a little paper towel over it, it'll be fine. Okay. Now we're going to roll this out in a disc. About 1/8 of an inch thick. And if it tears on the first one, make sure you knead your other disc a little bit more, because it can be easy to tear. I'm going to take a little bit of sesame oil and just put a little bit on here for flavor. And then I'm going to add some scallions. I was doing it and I said, I need to show my YouTubing friends and family how I make these. All right, now you want to take and roll it up gently. And try to pinch it together without tearing it if you can. And then I'm going to pinch the ends. And I'm going to try to roll it out without tearing it. Now, onions will pop out of it, so that's normal. And then you want to take it. Now, if it's hard to roll out, if it's stubborn, just let it rest. All right? Just give it about 10 minutes. Now, we made a little swirl. We're going to pat it, and then we're going to gently press it down with the rolling pin. And there you go. And like I said, that's normal. You're going to have that because, you know, they're a little bulky. It's going to come through. Okay, let's do another one. A little bit more flour on that rolling pin. Okay. A little bit of sesame oil. And some scallions. You would not believe the flavor that these have if you've never had them. They're so good. Because I fix, you know, I just put some soy sauce. I dip it in that, and I'll dip it in some sesame oil, and it's just, All right. And just roll it a little bit gently. Don't press it too hard. And then just try to tightly pull it together. And see, this one's tearing a little bit, and that will happen. Because if you put too many scallions on it, that'll happen also. But it'll still fry up. And that's okay. They're not going to be perfect. I probably put too many scallions on that one. Okay, we got two more. You want a good dough, you know. You don't want it to be too tough, but you don't want it to tear apart. So just don't forget to, you know, knead it for a few minutes. And it's a little sticky sometimes. All right, let's try this one. Sprinkle with some salt. And then just roll it. And see, it makes a big difference when you knead that dough a little bit. It gives it more strength. And I didn't put as many scallions on this one. But they still will come through a little bit. That's just normal. And there you go. All right, I'm gonna do this one and I'll be back. Hey, so you want to heat up some vegetable oil in a skillet. Oh, it's probably less than 1/4 of a cup. You may need to add more after you start frying these. And then you just want to take it and lay it down in there. These were the first ones I made. Make sure some oil is underneath it so it won't stick. Okay, we're gonna fry these about 3 to 4 or 5 minutes on each side. And I'll be back in a minute, y'all. And I put a little black pepper on top of one side because I like black pepper. But it smells so good cooking. And I'm going to flip them soon, but I'm going to let it cook about 5 minutes on each side. Alright, I cooked them 5 minutes and I flipped them. They're lightly golden. And I'm going to cook that other side for 5 minutes. Here we go. And you can try to roll them out thinner if you want to. I kind of like them thick. And then put them on a paper towel. And we'll get the other ones. I better add a little bit more oil. Hold on, y'all. I just added about another tablespoonful of oil. And I didn't have very many runaway onions. Make sure you got some oil underneath it so it won't stick. Okay. Alrighty. I'll be back, y'all. Okay, y'all. Here they are. And that's just some soy sauce with some sesame oil and some sesame seeds in there. You can mix up any kind of sauce you like. But they are so good. So good. They're hot. See the onion in there? And you can put as many scallions as you want. Y'all. The onion, the soy, the sesame. It's great. You can't beat it. Great little appetizer. They are so delicious. Crispy. I can guarantee you like them if you like Asian cuisine. So I hope you give it a try. And I think you'll really like it. So y'all have a wonderful day. I'll be back a little bit later. I'm gonna cook something else for dinner. This is just a snack. Love y'all. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. I'd appreciate it. Talk to y'all later.